Anything you learned from the Sushi Days that you kind of like apply now to marketing or your role at PandaDoc?
I think just the value of hard work. A lot of people underestimate it. Like a lot of people want to just mail it in, but when you really give your all to something and you bust, good things happen.
Go. Keep building podcasts with Matt Cressman. Building authority, LinkedIn's my strategy. I be overseas, closing deals with ease. Network growth's the key. You can only be you, can't replicate my view. Scale your revenue, pipeline breaking through. Success is all I see. Keep building. Go. Keep building.
What's up, guys? Matt Kretzman here, and I'm here with my new friend. I make friends all the time, most of them through LinkedIn. This one actually happened in person through one of my favorite conferences to be a part of, SaaS Talk. Guys, if you've never been to SaaS Talk, I always like to plug them because it kind of feels like a family reunion at this point. I've been hanging out with them for 3 years, been to Dublin, Austin, back and forth. If you're part of the SaaS Talk community, you've probably seen my face. You may not want to see it as much as you do, but sorry, it is what it is. So love that I'm a part of the SaaS Talk community. I met Keith there at the speaker dinner, which was fantastic. And we had some great conversations at the table. He is the president of PandaDoc, and he's got incredible go-to-market experience. You know, go-to-market engineering is now like a trendy term, and maybe we'll talk about that. But I'm always looking for ways to learn from experts that have they've crushed it in go-to-market. They understand how to take, something early stage or even more advanced stage and effectively put that product in the right market in the right way so that it leads to revenue and adoption and all the good things that come with that. So we've got a really good speaker here today, expert Keith. Man, you're the man. Thanks for joining me today.
It was great meeting you at South Stock. Had a great time. That dinner was epic. We had some amazing stories, and
Yeah.
you and I were like digging into the food like it was going out of style while everyone was talking. But hopefully, we can
Yeah.
share some of our insights with your listeners.
Yeah, I know. I felt like that dinner, like, man, there are certain settings where I'm like, I just need to be quiet right now and just listen because the conversations were so good and everybody around the table. Nathan Lackett did such a good job of, I think, curating that table. And it was just a treat for me to be a part of it. And of course, the food was absolutely amazing. So I'm like you, man. Yeah, I was digging in and it was super delicious. But more delicious were the takeaways. So great takeaways, great relationships. But man, I'd love to just like kind of dive right in. Man, you've had a lot of experience your whole career. What was like the genesis? Actually, I'm even curious, like, what was your first job?
Actually, my first job was working at a sushi restaurant in LA as a busboy when I was 16. You know, my parents made me get a job. It was great. I love sushi, and wasn't great like carrying around the like half-eaten edamame beans and stuff. But that was my first job. My first real job out of college, I worked at Charles Schwab in finance and then moved from finance into marketing. But it was a great job for like kind of the precursor to Robinhood in a lot of ways, like, the first electronic broker. So that's where I started.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Cool. Anything you learned from the Sushi Days that you kind of like apply now to marketing or your role at PandaDoc?
I think just the value of hard work. I think it's always a lot of people underestimate it. Like a lot of people want to just mail it in, but when you really give your all to something and you bust, good things happen.
That's it. There is like no substitute for hard work. I mean, that's it. They say what is the quote? Like hard work beats talent every time.
Yeah.
You know, I would totally agree with that. What have been like, you've obviously been at this for quite a number of years with some really cool companies, big and small. What have been some of the highlights? Like if you look back over your career and you think, man, that was like such a fun time, such a fun adventure. What are some of the moments that stand out for you most?
Yeah, one of the best was Google. I joined Google in 2007, and I think we were about 16,000 employees then. So it was already big, but it was growing really fast. And I was there when Google Docs first came around, and got to give feedback on that. I worked on one of the first projects ever to revamp how we were spending money at Google, which was really interesting. I worked on the integration of DoubleClick, just lots of really cool stuff. And it was an amazing time to be there and watch everything that was happening and the rate of change, which was incredible. And I think the best part for me was learning the secret sauce of how Google did things, which was making sure you follow the user, making sure you think big, make sure you challenge convention, launch and iterate, and then get great talent. And that great talent is, not just the smartest people, but the hardest workers, the people who match your culture. Those were my like biggest takeaways. But I think probably my biggest highlight, well, two biggest highlights was first managing my first team ever. I managed the Gmail operations team, calendar operations. Obviously, Gmail, great product, and helping support that was incredible. And then I worked for Google Fiber when they were rolling out and trying to change the world and how everybody gets internet, and built a team from scratch for the first time. And that was just incredible. I built this team of probably 25 people at the end that came from all sorts of backgrounds. None of them had telecom backgrounds, and I thought we were doing some really incredible work. So lots to take away there. Absolutely loved working at Google in those days.
Yeah. It's funny you talking about Google Docs. I mean, now you're at PandaDoc. Was that like when maybe your obsession or interest with just like doc?
I don't know if it's that per se, but I think I've always had a love of efficiency. Like, I don't like seeing things done the wrong way. And Google was really good about that. Like there's this mantra, like if you see a problem, go fix it. It didn't matter if it was in your lane. And it went to solving our users' problems. And I think Google Doc was like, there's a better way to be doing the creation of documents, and it involves collaboration and it involves real-time editing. And we've just come so far from there. PandaDoc, we focus much more on agreements and contracts, but again, there's a better way of getting them done. Today, people fill out the same information over and over, and PandaDoc allows you to reuse templates and get your signatures faster, get contracts done in a much more timely way. We have a lot of customers using it for sales, and they actually see their win rates go up because they get to put in front like beautiful proposals that close quickly, and they get insights. And so to me, it's really about like solving customer problems and finding a better way of doing things. And that's been a continuous trend throughout my career.
Yeah, I got to say this, like, I love that about you. Like, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I say it all the time. You probably do too. Like, just the average, business leader or marketer, probably less marketer, more business leader. There's so much waste. Like there's so much inefficiency. Like there's still, it's, and for the average company to make that jump into like, we were talking digital transformation, like just a few short years ago. Now we're talking AI transformation.
Hey, so I hope you've enjoyed watching this YouTube video so far, listening to this podcast episode. I want you more than anything to understand that my goal is to help you build better relationships by starting the right conversations. When I figured out LinkedIn in 2019 for what it truly is and really learned how to use it to my advantage, my life completely changed. Not only personally, but professionally, my business. I was able to launch a very successful company. And over the years, it is amazing just to watch how all of the relationships that I've developed through LinkedIn have taken me places and opened doors of opportunity that I never thought would be possible. And so for that reason, I wrote the book, The LinkedIn Advantage. I want to put a copy in your hands. Okay, in this, you're going to find about 200 pages of some of my best secret strategies, tactics, tools that I use, processes for how I connect with intentionality and keep a very full pipeline of the right opportunities and conversations with the right people. I believe your pipeline, your sales pipeline that is, should be your lifeline, because we all don't know what's going to happen to us right around the corner, or we may enter into a season to where we need support from people in our pipeline or in our lives. And so for that reason, I believe in connecting with intentionality, and the LinkedIn Advantage is really my attempt at sharing everything that I've learned over the years with people like you that care about putting the right people in your life and starting meaningful conversations that lead to revenue growth, relationship growth, and everything in between. So go ahead and click the link in the video. You'll probably find it down in the description somewhere, and go ahead and grab a copy. I want you to get it in your hands. It's really going to change your life if you put into practice the things that I teach in this book. But back to the episode. I hope you enjoy the rest of it.
Like they're most right. Like it's almost, I can imagine, like it's almost overwhelming. And I'm like way deep in the weeds. Like we talked before we started, hit record of some things that I'm building. But man, when you're, I guess for the people that are listening that are like business owners and they're like, they hear the words automation or even like marketers and go-to-market teams, but maybe we can bucket those in two different categories. We're talking about efficiency. Like what are you saying to your teams, right? Like, and how do you think about like efficiency from a business standpoint, automation, right? Help people understand that.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I always think about what is the core job you're trying to do. If you're a salesperson, you're trying to help customers buy a solution. Anything else you're doing is taking you away from that core job. And you want the stuff that is taking you away from that core job to be as easy and like streamlined as possible. And so efficiency for me is about taking the stuff that's not core to your job and reducing the amount of friction and time that is done there. So you can go back to the things you matter. Marketing, it's the same thing. In marketing, your job is to get like your ads flighted or to write great emails or to analyze those emails and design great campaigns. Putting stuff into like Asana or whatever tracking system you use, like that's not core to your job. Like that's the stuff you have to do to make sure others are informed. And if we can use tools that reduce that, we're much better off. And so again, like for PandaDoc, we try to reduce the manual workload of getting quotes approved, which take hours and hours, tracking down your customers to see if they've opened the doc. And generally, we give our salespeople a lot of time back. We use it internally, and it's just like, it's a godsend for me as an approver because I can just go to one screen, look at everything that's outstanding, and decide what I want to approve or where I have questions for my sales team.
Yeah. Listen, I got to tell you from personal experience, it was fun at the table. We were like, all right, who here is using PandaDoc?
Best moment of the conference was looking at the table and literally only one person at the table didn't use it, and he's on.
Yeah, he was escorted out. We escorted him. But I got to say for me, like when I launched my marketing company in 2020, I was a bottleneck. I'm like, there's no way I can't keep rebuilding the same proposals over and over and over again. And so when you guys rolled the templates out, I discovered that and I was like, oh my gosh, this like completely transformed my ability to just crank out proposals. And the template feature of PandaDoc was my favorite thing. Like it was so easy. And then you created the, you've got catalogs almost of like different templates that you can like plug and play and add to your proposals. Like I was like superpowers for me to build proposals in like almost no time.
I thought I was going to be taking clips of this video of myself and using it, but we're just going to take clips of you and you can make materials.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm good with that. Listen, people who know me know, like when I find something, like everybody's going to hear about it if it helps me, because at the end of the day, I think there's, we're all trying to be smarter with our time, be more efficient, focus on the most essential tasks. You guys just made it so easy for me to just build proposals and win. And then the ability, I loved it when I would send, proposals off and I could see, did they click it? Did they read it? Like what's the activity happening on the other side?
I mean, I think taking it back to like the discussion, like when you solve these friction points for your customers, when you make things efficient, it results in praise being heaped and evangelism. And like for me, that's one of the rewards. Like I have an intrinsic reward system of like, I love solving problems and fixing things that are broken. And when they're not efficient, they're broken. But I also have this other love, and I think that's why I ultimately ended up in a go-to-market role of seeing customers light up and want to tell the story about how your product is helping them. And so like, I love that we can do that at PandaDoc.
Yes, you guys rock, man. Listen, I want to talk about go-to-market. I mean, you've been a part of some big, again, like a $9 billion business, like Adobe's digital media, running go-to-market, and then teams as small as 3. Right? What are like, you probably now over the course of your career, you got the point where you've like honed in, like, here's my fundamental process as I think about go-to-market and continue to grow and scale that. Take us to like ground zero. What are you thinking? What are you doing for go-to-market?
I think it's 2 things, is hiring the best talent you can. And if you get the right people, they're going to figure it out. So I always try to get great people. If you talk to my teams, they'll tell you I'm a relentless recruiter. I spend a lot of time recruiting, and I think that's really important. And I always look for people that want to build a business, but also serve the mission and help customers. And if you can find people who want to do those 3 things, then you've got a really good fit. There's other criteria, of course, you look for, but those are non-negotiable. The second thing is really understanding the customer problem. On our team calls, I always talk about pain. Like I'm much more of a pain seller than a value seller, because I believe that people will go to almost any length to avoid pain. And maybe, yes, they like value, they like a better way of doing things, but the benefits are always less than the avoidance of the pain. So I start with where's the customer having problems, and then I try to market to those problems and make sure that I raise them in the selling process. And then of course your product's got to back it up. Your product has to address those pain points. So that's the basis of all of our go-to-market.
When you're building out teams, explain, like maybe paint the picture for, how many people are in that team, maybe a company at the size of PandaDoc, but even smaller companies. What is that essential? You've got 25, like what does that team look like? as it continues to grow and you add more talent.
Hey, so let's take a second and talk about CRMs and software tools. There's so many different tools in the market today that you could use to grow your business, to market your business, and to manage all of your sales and contacts and conversations and stuff. But after a few years of being in marketing full-time and running my company and advising all kinds of clients, I quickly realized that there's a gap in the market for a true all-in-one CRM platform that's also built for helping you grow your LinkedIn network and doing what we would call outbound marketing campaigns. So I decided to go ahead and build one that solved that problem. An all-in-one best-in-class CRM platform with all of your forms, your funnels, your landing pages, your contacts, opportunity pipeline, billing, ad management, reputation management, all the AI agents and tools in there. Plus it comes with almost 800 million contacts in the platform already. So you don't need to go and bring your own list. You can come into LeadStorm and build a list, filter, target, enrich, and get phone numbers, emails, contact information for hundreds of millions of people right inside the platform. And you can also use LeadStorm to grow your LinkedIn platform. So if you're a consultant, a coach, an author, a speaker, a founder, an entrepreneur, you're leading a SaaS company, it even works for sports teams. I've worked with the Bulls, Warriors, Nets, Pacers, Spurs, New Jersey Devils. If you're looking to build a relationship first business, this is the platform for you. Don't settle for anything less. I meet guys all the time, whether they're in financial services or any of the other industries that I mentioned. They're using MailChimp, Pipedrive, Calendly, maybe they're using ClickFunnels and all this other tech. Throw it all away. You got one platform that does it all. So you get a 10-day free trial when you sign up for LeadStorm. And within those 10 days, we're actually even going to get a full campaign built for you completely free. You're going to be starting conversations and getting meetings before you even spend a dime. That's my promise. So go ahead and sign up for leadstorm.ai. I'll see you on the onboarding. If you decide to sign up, me personally, I'll be involved in building out your campaigns on LeadStorm. We've got a great support team that'll also be a part of that. And man, it is going to be a world of difference. You literally have nothing to lose. I'm not trying to sell you anything that I don't believe will truly transform your business. So leadstorm.ai, go ahead and get the pro plan. That's going to get you all the best features in the platform, including video personalization, again, all of the AI tech, the data, the LinkedIn growth tools, everything right out of the box. I built it for me because I knew there'd be people like you that would also benefit from it too. So get that free trial and I'll see you guys on the onboarding call.
Yeah, so I think let me start with guiding principles, which is you always want to have someone on the hook for your most important things, right? It seems like, yeah, no kidding, Keith. But it's shocking how many times you'll see a company where you don't have a single person responsible for your most important KPI. And you've got to have that because otherwise you diffuse responsibility and no one is going to pursue it relentlessly. And I want that. I want someone pursuing the most important KPIs relentlessly. And then as you build your organization, you're double clicking down. Great. So my most important metric is net new ARR. All right. I have it in my sales-led business and my product-led business. I've got a leader for each of those. Then within the sales-led business, she's got an expansion leader and she's got a new business leader. And I can sort of like tie it down and I know one person is in charge of that, right? And at a smaller company, you probably collapse some of that responsibility, but you still have to have the single person responsible. And that allows ownership, which is very empowering for that person. And it allows accountability, which allows you as a leader to go and drive results. So that's kind of how I tend to think of building a business. I do think at some point scope breaks. Google, we had something called the rule of 8, which was, a general rule of thumb that you don't want more than 8 direct reports. You can flex that. But in general, I think that's where you start to lose track of what's going on.
If you're talking to like a Series A size company, how would you advise them in terms of who their most essential hires should be, who should be on that team? How do they divvy up those KPIs and who's owning what?
I mean, I would probably have a single leader for all sales, which is typical. I think most Series A they're gonna have a VP of sales who's responsible for that revenue. And yeah, you get someone great. You get someone who's really smart, hungry, like again, relentless. I think that's a key quality, but wants to serve customers. I do believe you don't want to close business at all costs because you end up driving churn and bad reputation. Have someone with integrity who's going to do right by the customers too.
Yeah, got you. Okay, and then you're in the SaaS world too. So PandaDoc is an essential tool in the tech stack. What are some of the other tools, like right now even, that you're like, you've proven you like it, like, man, these are our go-tos? And then I'd love to hear maybe if there's like some you're kind of testing.
We're big fans of Gong, huge Gong fans. We use it not just for our conversational intelligence, but our forecasting, and it's been really helpful there. We've used it to get insights across all the corpus of calls that we conduct. So we can now ask it questions, which then helps our product marketing. It helps our product understand gaps. So that's been really powerful for us. We are very excited about Clay. We've been implementing it recently, not all the way there, but pretty excited about it. And let's see what else. Yeah, we've dabbled with some like automation platforms. I won't name any names. I think there's one that's really promising, but starting to play around there. I've kind of changed my tune a little bit. I used to look for like maybe all-in-one solutions, but I'm getting to be more of a DI person where we've got a great RevOps team and they're able to take like these tools that we anchor on. Like we use our own tool, PandaDoc, we anchor on that. We use Snowflake as our data warehouse. We use Gong, and then we push all the information into the right places and then process it there using LLMs. And so I think it's really that maturation of the LLMs that has enabled me to flip the switch and go towards more of this DI. Like, let's build our suite and connection system and get richer, deeper insights and better workflow out of it.
I agree with you on Clay. You know, it seems like a couple of years ago, and Clay's been around for a number of years, and then all of a sudden, I feel like 2 years ago, they just, you know, just exploded onto the scene. We use Clay a lot. Clay is great. I will say though, this is, and it's probably on their radar. Isaac Clay, y'all need to watch out. I don't know if you've heard, Keith, of this platform called Exa. Have you heard of Exa?
No.
Oh my goodness. It's exa.ai. And the challenge for us, and I mean just the average person who's using Clay, is it's fairly technical. You know, it's fairly technical. You know, it definitely helps if you've got some, you know, some Python or JavaScript or some kind of like coding background. Exa is impressive. I've been playing around with it. Now I'm a non-technical. I'm a marketer. I'm a creative strategist. But I jumped into Exa through Kevin Dorsey. He gave a big long post, and I'm like, holy crap! I read the whole thing, and he's like ranting and raving. I jumped into Exa, and Exa is like ChatGPT level prompting, ease of use, but with the Clay insights and personalization and intense stuff that you can get. So I'm just putting that out there. It was super impressive. Like, I was able to get in there and just talk to it. I need you to find the most like obscure, you know, guidelines on who I'm looking for. And I'm telling you, Keith, boom, it did it really quick. I was really impressed. Clay, don't come after me. I'm not trying to kill a deal. I'm just saying, y'all need to watch out.
Well, I will check it out. But we're actively implementing Clay. So Clay doesn't have to watch our case, but I will check out.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. That's good. In talking about like, you know, AI tech and stuff, I mean, what a crazy time. I mean, there's just new tools all the time, you know, that are popping up. And I mean, it's really hard, you know, to keep up with things. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think it's really interesting. I mean, I'm trying not to use too many tools, to be honest, but where I spend a lot of my time is with the core platforms, the ChatGPTs, the Perplexities, the Claude, Llama, and just understanding how fast they're changing. It is unbelievable how good they're getting and how deep they can go. So that's where I think a lot of the change will come from. And then they're allowing all these other things to happen in the tool sets. But again, that's why I'm like really on the DIY front, which is if I can start with the source of the data. And so like in the case of PandaDoc, we have your contracts. Like that is a source of truth. Doesn't matter what's in your CRM. Your rep might have mistyped it. The contract has the source of truth. The Gong transcript is the source of truth. Like those things, allowing LLMs to act on it, become really powerful. And so being able to stitch that data together creates really unique opportunities and probably will disintermediate a lot of players.
Yeah. I imagine you guys have been building quite a data set, you know, over X number of years. Do you think we're going to get to the point to where, I don't know what this might, you know, the product roadmap looks like for PandaDoc, but I mean, do you think we're going to get to the point to where is like that chat interface and AI is able to very soon build a proposal?
100%. We think about AI helping with agreement creation, agreement negotiation, or completion. You and I were talking about, do you want to pay a lawyer like $2,000 to read your contract and tell you it's okay to sign? Or do you want an AI that is 99.9% as good as a lawyer? I hope my legal team doesn't come after me for that. But, you know, telling you that a contract is safe. And, in 12 months, it's probably going to be better than the best lawyer. Like that, at least is what
Yeah.
the AI experts say. And then we think about how can AI help you organize and keep your documents pure, and then give
Yeah.
you insight on top of them. Like, yeah, this is a good deal to sign. Or, hey, Keith, you're the approver on this sales proposal. Your team's giving away too much value, almost like an automated deal desk. I think that's kind of where
Wow.
we're going.
That is insane. Super, super interesting. Like I mentioned before the call, for those of you that are watching this, so I built an agent that I think I'm going to call him Poddy, Poddy, but I wanted to take my Fireflies meetings and then turn them into podcasts. And it's there, it's live. I'm not going to give access to anybody yet. If you want it, you gotta message me on LinkedIn. But the idea of being able to chain together, you guys have a great API. I mean, I'm thinking, shoot, I should connect like Fireflies to my PandaDoc account so it can take the meeting, read the transcript, identify the customer, and then auto create a proposal based on maybe an extra step for like a research agent, and personalize that for that prospect. I could probably reference all the meetings that I know it could.
We've had customers do that.
Nice. Okay. There you go. So yeah, this is like one of the big takeaways. If you're like watching this and you're like, how does this apply to me? I want you to take a step back in your business. I really want you to think through, where am I spending? What are the manual processes that you're doing that you need to stop doing? And you can build a system like this, powered by great platforms like PandaDoc, and just implement a system that you build it once and it does it for you over and over and over again. Like that's where true efficiency is unlocked. Bingo. Exactly. Awesome. Man, I'm curious, Keith, you ran partnerships, I think, at YouTube, right?
Not like the partnerships like you would think. I ran the team that was responsible for like the mid-level partners, the scalable partnerships with kind of all the up and coming creators on YouTube.
Okay. I'm curious about, I feel like it's becoming more maybe accepted and on the radar of companies, say like a PandaDoc or others, in the industry, where they're thinking about the B2B creators. Are you guys leveraging B2B creators right now? Are you content creators?
We've talked about how we want to, but we haven't done it. So we're
Yeah.
looking for people who are big PandaDoc evangelists, and
Yep.
really think about how we can use them effectively.
Yeah, sweet. Okay, we can talk about that offline. As you can see, I mean, I've already given you some.
I know, I love it.
It's all good. Yeah, I got to tell you, I don't know, Keith, if you saw, there was this guy on LinkedIn. He had like a head of a box, like he was like a box, and it was an AI interview, like networking. Shoot, I can't remember the name of him. Oh man, it's evading me now. But what they did was they built. Oh man, they're gonna kill me now, because they reached out. They were like, Matt, you want to be a creator? I'm like, yes. Anyways, they actually were able to raise, I think it was like $1 million or $2 million of their first round, just by leveraging all the content creators and the viral marketing that they did on LinkedIn. And it was really interesting. Stay tuned. I'm going to post about it. Okay. You guys can find that on my LinkedIn profile later. But what has been like, and we'll kind of wrap up with this, but the key growth drivers for PandaDoc over, like, you would say, the years, like, what have been those channels or those strategies for driving growth for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we have a really thriving self-serve business that is spread through word of mouth and kind of the inherent virality of the product. I mean, it's not viral in the sense of like Facebook, where you connect with one person, they connect with like tens of others, or a Figma, but it is viral in the sense, like, if I send you a document and you sign it, then you might see the need to use a PandaDoc and create it. So we've got a really thriving self-serve business, which we try to anchor for our smaller customers, but it's really successful. We've got a pretty elegant onboarding flow there. And then we've got a great sales-led motion, and that sales-led motion has picked up hugely with some of the new hires we've had on our demand gen team and our great sales leadership, who've just taken these like great sellers that we have and sort of brought them to the next level. And now we're at the forefront of testing new channels like outbound. And there's just so many customers who don't know about PandaDoc, and don't know, like, they're not even problem aware. You're a marketer. Like, they're not problem aware. They're not solution aware. So trying to get in front of them and get them to know. And then lastly is that partnership channel. Like, we are so much better when we're hooked into another system, whether it's Salesforce, HubSpot, another CRM, Slack. You just get more out of your product. And so making sure we can, channel those to drive better velocity of new leads.
Yeah. Shout out to Wes Bush, product-led growth. My man, we both love Wes, my fellow Canadian. My brother from another mother. Although I live in Texas now and I'm American, but still wave the Canadian flag from time to time. In product led growth, how early in the process do you build those integrations?
We try to ask you right in the onboarding flow, do you use another system? And then we'll actually suggest that you connect them in. It's probably not the first thing. Like, I'm a very big believer in the aha moment. You got to get the aha. For us, the aha is either how easy it is to use a template or to see your signed document come back. Like, it's just this wow moment where, like, whoa, I just got notified in Slack that my doc was signed, right? Or you have it where you're like, oh my God, somebody opened my doc. That's like a really cool moment. And so I try to push those first, and then you layer on functionality layer.
Do you, when you're thinking as PandaDoc about the integrations that you would build, do you survey your users? Are you like, how do you think about those opportunities?
Yeah, we survey users and we look through all the data we've collected, right? I was talking about this like DIY system, pushing all the data into Snowflake, our product data, our Gong data, our sales data, our marketing data, website visits. We collect information from our support team. We can push it all in and then query it. So that's been really powerful for us to make sure we're prioritizing the right integrations.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Keith, I remembered the name of the company. It's called Bordy.
Okay, I got to check it out.
Did you hear about Bordy? No?
No.
Check it out, guys. If you haven't heard of Bordy, I mean, wild case study. One of the founders of Bordy, he was with Clearbank, co-founder Clearbank. But Bordy, I mean, the craziest thing. You could call Bordy and it would ask you questions, and then it would research its database of all those interviews, and it would say, "Hey, I know a guy," and then it would actually fire off an email intro connecting you with them, and so it became like this amazing like intro, kind of AI platform. But their social media, if you want to look how to do it right, like, man, their LinkedIn, they crushed it. It was absolutely mind blowing. They kind of went viral a couple of times. But anyways, I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
What's going on the rest of 2025? Who do you want to, who should reach out for what purpose?
Yeah, I mean, anyone who wants to know more about PandaDoc, please contact, request a demo on our website, or go sign up for a trial. And, if you got feedback on the trial experience, send it my way.
Yeah. Awesome. Massive respect for what you guys are doing at PandaDoc. You've made my life better. I don't know that my agency would have grown as fast as it did because of how easy it was to, okay, I'll stop. All right, whatever. PandaDoc's amazing. Guys, just go sign up. Like, what's your problem? No, but seriously, thanks for all you do, Keith. Thanks for dropping some bombs. I'll be taking that internally and just kind of applying some things. So appreciate you, man. And maybe I'll see you in Dublin. Are you going to be back at SaaS Talk?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I'd like to.
I'll save you a seat at the dinner table,
All right,
just in case.
Thanks so much, man.
Keep building podcasts with Matt Cressman. Building authority, LinkedIn's my strategy. I be overseas, closing deals with ease. Network growth's the key. You can only be you, can't replicate my view. Scale your revenue, pipeline breaking through. Success is all I see. Keep building.